That's a Hall of Fame terrible take right there.
No, it's not. It's true. It's so true. Boy, just
Charles right about
straight
that
winging booty and let the ball go.
Say what again? Say what again? I dare you. I double dare you.
LeBron James
puts up a three. Won't go. Rebound Bosh. Back out to Allen. His three-pointer. Bang! Irving and Curry. One-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good. Kyrie Irving from downtown.
Oh, yeah, but we'll get to explaining and debating in a second.
Yes, sir.
Joseph,
Yes, sir.
we made it. We made it to the finals.
It took a while,
It did.
but we got here.
It took a minute, but we got here.
It's
And we
great.
got here, and that's all that matters. So we're going to get into a little reaction to both
I don't know
series.
about all of that.
We're going to get into reaction to both series. We got a quick firing that we're going to have to talk about related to one of those series. Then we're going to go keys to each team. Of course, we'll make a prediction. And as we always end this show, Joe, you know we choose love, we choose violence. But first, Joe, I want to know your reaction to the Western Conference Finals. A lot of people were saying whoever won this was a shoo-in to win the finals. We'll get into that and see if that's actually the reality. But what did you think about this series, Joe? I think it's back-to-back years where Ant-Man got to the conference finals, couldn't quite get it done. I think a lot of the prevailing media claims was that he let the team down this year. I don't know if I completely agree with that, Joe. I want to know what you hear or what you think first. So what was your overall reaction to that series?
It's on Anthony Edwards. If everybody wants to put him up there, compare him to being the next Michael Jordan, saying he done slayed all these legends from KD to Steph to LeBron James, all of them at the end of their career. Everybody wants to put him up there, and he's doing all this talking off the court. It was cool to watch the film and him doing all that shit talking after they beat the Lakers, but you got to show up. And you can't sit there and only take 13 shots in a game and say, I played the right way. You're basically saying, hey, what more do y'all want from me? I can't put the whole team on my back. That's not the right time or the place for that. LeBron James did that once. Kobe did that once, and we destroyed him. Now we got to do the same thing with Anthony Edwards until he get a chip. Now you're going to have to prove it to me first before I can give you
We did that?
the media.
I mean,
Absolutely.
I'm just saying LeBron James, I don't think I've ever heard you say a bad thing about
Did he
LeBron.
not do that against the
think he's
Cavs, though,
good.
in that one series early on in his career?
Against the Spurs. I mean, yeah, he
That's what I'm saying.
had no business.
Kobe did
being
the same thing in the
finals.
playoffs, too. He was like, hey, I won't shoot that either. But I feel like they were more established than Anthony Edwards.
Yeah. Ant and LeBron in that first finals is probably about the same.
Yeah, but then
Probably about the same.
and also when you look at the Timberwolves, they just didn't have the depth. They didn't have enough pieces to go up against the Thunder and the defense that the Thunder had. The Thunder could just throw everything at Anthony Edwards and said, all right, we'll see what Julius Randle's going to do. We'll see what Naz Reid's going to do. We know Rudy Gobert can't do nothing. So they were extremely limited once you take Ant-Man out of his game. And it's been proven that he can lay eggs too, kind of like we're going to talk about it later, like Tyrese Halliburton. Seems like Anthony Edwards and that team in general, it happened in the regular season last year, happened in the regular season this year, and it happened in the playoffs. They'll have great games, and then the next game they'll lay an egg. And they got to fix that. It could be coaching. It could be not enough pieces around Anthony Edwards. I think it's a multitude of things that they're going to have to fix in the offseason.
Yeah, I do want to spend a little time. Like the Thunder are just they're
good.
Very good.
It's like top-notch defense.
Very, very well thought out, well structured, well put together teams. I want to start there. I think the criticism of Anthony Edwards has actually been a little unfair. I understand. Was it game 4 or game 5 when you only had 2 shot attempts at halftime, and people were killing him for that. My thing is though, if he can't. There's only so much he can do, right? If they're going to load up to stop him, he has to make for the other teams. Now, 2 shot attempts, like 1 then 2, I don't care what they did. There's no way they did all that, right? He could have put a little bit more on the game. We saw in that second half of that game, he really tried to put his imprint on that game. So he's not above criticism for this. I don't think his team was good enough to beat that team.
Facts.
Like I think the Thunder. I think if we fast forward 5 years and look at everything that the Thunder accomplish in the next 5 years, I think we will look back at this time period a lot differently. Because right now, I think part of the thing working against Ant is that the Thunder haven't accomplished anything yet.
Sure.
So there's no lore to them, right? Like say LeBron or KD never goes to the Warriors, and then the Warriors only ended up with that one finals win, and then it's the year that Kyrie and Kevin Love got hurt. Like we think about the Warriors much differently,
Absolutely.
right? But now when we look at that team, we say, okay, well, we know that they won 3 different finals in that time period. You know, like we just know a lot more because we have more of a full picture now. So it'll be interesting to see how people still talk about this once we see how this chapter for the Thunder ends. Now, if they're just kind of a one and done, or if they can't even get it done against the Pacers.
I was gonna say
then we're gonna have all those different conversations.
They could easily be the Boston Celtics. They're like the Boston Celtics won a championship off of shooting threes. OKC could win a championship off of excellent defense, but next year that may not be enough.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how next year all plays out. We don't get too ahead of ourselves.
Exactly.
But I just do want to point out, like, the Thunder did a lot. We talked about keys for that series. One of the things that I really wanted to see the Timberwolves do was make an effort to get Julius Randle some good matches. You kind of mentioned coaching. I just didn't think they gave Julius Randle much of a chance in that game or in that series. Like it didn't seem like there was a plan for him. It was kind of we're just gonna let him kind of get his off of whatever Ant decides.
Where it doesn't work, and we're gonna just take him out.
Yeah, it's like he's too good of a player. It's like all of his stuff was like this kind of secondary ISO late in the shot clock. I didn't like the game plan. You're not like we saw this last year.
Ant-Man or bust.
You're not just gonna ISO teams to a championship. Like that's not going to happen. The Mavericks got about as close as you can get, right? And they had the 2 best ISO combos that we've potentially ever seen when it comes to Luka and Kyrie, right? And even they still fell short in the finals last year. So they got to do something a little more offensively to help get some of those other guys going. When they got rolling, it was when they got all the others going. They got the Jaden McDaniels, the Dante DiVincenzo's, the Julius Randles. That's when they were clicking in the playoffs. Was when they got those guys going, not just sitting there watching Ant-Man be Superman. I don't think that's ever going to be a recipe for success for them. And there's no way we're getting out of this with him getting a whole fucking pass. But Rudy Gobert, once again, liability in the playoffs.
Everybody knows that though. They just forgot because what he did against the Lakers.
Every time it happens, I have to make sure that because yes, they thought everyone, look, he's basically Shaq when he's playing against the Lakers who were playing 5 small forwards. But yeah, liability again, picked on again.
Just garbage.
Couldn't even really like shut down Isaiah Hartenstein. I mean, like, what are we doing? What are we doing? What use are you? You're a terrible offensive player, and you're not even a good defensive Joe. It's too early in the show.
It's facts. I'm just saying, 3-time NBA.
It's too early in the show. For that.
If he get a championship, it's over.
Yeah, well, I'm real confident that one.
Me too.
But all right, let's talk about the other series, Joe. The East. This one was this series was crazy from start to finish. From start to finish, the very first game, we got Halliburton throwing up the choke symbol, just to then realize his toe was on the line. Didn't actually win the game yet. They had to go to overtime, steal game 1. It was dope. Glad he did. Bum-ass Knicks fans. But then, it kind of took it. They went up 2-0, and then they did the thing that I think everyone kind of expected them to do. They lost game 3 at home to let the Knicks back into the series. Ends up being Pacers in 6. Love that it happened right in front of their own stupid fans. Love that.
Should have been Pacers in 4 for real. Maybe not 4. Maybe 5.
It should
have been 5.
I mean, it really could have been 4. It could have been 4. Once they took the first 2 in New York, it really could have been 4. But nonetheless, what's your reaction to this series, Joe? Because I got something to say about this one.
Karl Anthony Towns is probably one of the dumbest stars in the NBA. He just does dumb things. We say like the dumb fouls, the stupid reaching, the way he dribbles sometimes, just getting stole on at bad opportunities. Yeah, he had a one great fourth quarter that stole a game for them and they won a game. And that's what people love about Karl-Anthony Towns, because he has those moments and he can do those things. But he's just so idiotic when it comes to basketball, where he just does so much dumb things that it really hurts the Knicks. And then Jalen Brunson, you're not in this today's NBA, you cannot live on a guy who dribbles the ball out. This is not back when James Harden could have done it and was passing the ball. You cannot do that.
No.
You can't do it with like
Whoa,
Allen
whoa.
Iverson.
What do you mean this isn't back when James Harden didn't do shit?
I'm talking about with the Rockets.
James Harden, I
Yeah,
know. And what did he
You're right.
accomplish?
The numbers
there?
look good, but then when the playoffs came around, you couldn't win nothing. You're right about that. I'll give you that. So I think that's what it really is more than anything. And you got to look at the GM. You got to look at them giving up all the pieces that they had last year, giving up 5 picks to get Mikal Bridges, and then you have no depth. And you want to blame Tibbs that he's not using his bench. Who was out there really that you could use? I mean, they did show a little bit of spark for them in a couple games, but it wasn't really somebody out there that you could trust consistently. I think it was just a bad roster construction. It was a lot of bad offensive coaching where you just say, okay, Jalen Brunson, get it done. Like, maybe I can see that in the last 5 minutes, last 7 minutes of the fourth quarter, but that can't be the whole entire game plan the whole time. And that's what it ends up turning into when Karl-Anthony Towns does dumb shit, ends up getting in foul trouble, or he doesn't do anything on defense. And sometimes you forget he's even on the court. So I think it revolts a lot around Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns.
I'm glad you said it, Joe, because shout out to the Pacers. They went to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. They had the Celtics dead to rights in every damn game and just found ways to lose them. This year, they played a worse team and were good enough to get past them. So shout out to them. Tyrese Halliburton had 4 really good games, a couple mediocre games. I still think Spicy P getting
That's
the
crazy.
Eastern Conference Finals MVP was wild, but whatever. Shout out to Spicy P. He did have some good games as well. They had just more of a plan. That's really what it came down to. Just from start to finish, offensively, they had a plan. They were going to try and get out in transition, run on makes, get into quick offense with Halliburton, facilitating, playmaking, getting his shot when it was there, and then when it's in the half court, they're going to go to Siakam, and they're just going to do a lot of kind of quick ISOs with him, a lot of dribble handoffs outside of that to get the ball moving around, and just trust everybody on the team to knock down shots. The Knicks are the exact opposite on offense. It's just like you said. I couldn't have said it better myself. Jalen Brunson, you are not going to just dribble, ISO, shoot, step back, mid-range, step back, 3, dribble all the way. Like, you're not going to do that.
And try and flop your way through a championship. It's not going to work. Nope.
Yeah, I mean, I was getting so frustrated with everyone talking about the free throw merchant SGA. The free throw merchant is in the Eastern Conference and plays for the goddamn Knicks. That is the free throw merchant. He's the one grabbing people's arms before he goes up to try and shoot. That is the free throw merchant. SGA shoots 9 free throws a game. That is pretty subpar.
That is subpar for a superstar.
Leading scorer in the NBA. Like, that's on the low end. Like, I understand some of them don't. Yes, some of them are iffy. I'm not going to act like he's out there getting hammered every time he gets a foul call, but he does what anybody else has done. Michael, you're not going to convince me Michael Jordan didn't get some calls that were not the toughest fouls. I mean, yes, Michael Jordan got hit harder and got hit harder more often. I'm not trying to make that comparison. I'm just saying every superstar gets calls like that. Every single one. So I'm tired of that narrative with SGA. But back to this series, Joe, you're so right. Brunson tried to hero ball their way to a win. And you know what, Joe? In the games that they won, the thing that they kept calling, they're like, oh, this is really interesting. Brunson's in foul trouble. He's got to go to the bench. I don't know if the Knicks are going to be able to survive this. And what did the Knicks do? They went on a fucking run. Because he wasn't hogging the goddamn ball.
That's a great point.
He spent too much time behind Luka's fat ass. Learned all the wrong things from Luka. And he's doing the same shit.
Luka's not fat right now. Relax.
All right, I forgot we got Ozempic Luka right now. But back when Brunson was with them,
I give you that.
chunky guy. both out of shape, don't play a lick of defense. You know, their defensive liability for, I guess, different reasons.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, that's true.
Luka because he can't move. Like, they are both just the next iteration of James Harden. It's not going to work until they change how they play. You made a good point, Joe. I think I kind of just interpreted it a little differently. If you're going to have Brunson play like this, there's no need to go get OG. There's no need to get Mikal Bridges. Go get you some Dorian Finney-Smiths. Just get those types of guys. You don't got to pay them max dollars. If all you want them to do is just sit out there, catch and shoot, bail out threes at the end of the shot clock, and play defense, you don't need to go get guys as talented as OG and Mikal Bridges. Now, if you're actually going to run some offense,
then it works.
Run some plays for somebody not named Jalen Brunson, then you're cooking it. And I think the roster is in great shape. I think we'll talk about Tibbs in a second, but I don't buy that they are not. I don't buy the depth issue as much as Tibbs presents it, I guess is what I'll say. Like, he acts like he can only play 7 players. I think they got more than 7 playable players. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I think they got more. They had more there that he could have tapped into.
At least for a few minutes. At least for a few minutes.
Tibbs did get fired in New York. This is all awkward now, Joe, because at the end of the game, when the Knicks lost and got bounced, right, a reporter asked Jalen Brunson point blank and said, you know, do you think Tibbs will get fired, or do you want him fired? Do you think he's the right coach for this situation? I believe is how they framed it. On. Of course, I think he's. But
was that you or me?
That was me.
Okay, thought so. I got you at the reporter was asking him the question about if it was the right time, if he was the right guy for the situation, and what was Brunson's reaction?
Yeah, and so Brunson's basically like, you know, basically F you, that's a dumb question. Of course, right coach, blah, blah, blah. And then days later, he's gone. So what do you think about this one, Joe? What do you think about Tibbs getting fired?
I mean, if I'm the Knicks, and if I'm the Knicks front office, I'm James Dolan, I'm looking at it like, okay, I get it. If we lose to the Celtics, I can understand it. Damn, we lost to the Celtics. Well, if you're James Dolan, you're thinking your team is competitive, you did all this stuff to put your team into a win-now situation, and you lost to the Pacers, and you're looking at the Pacers roster, and a lot of people publicly speaking, the regular fan, you're looking at the Pacers roster, you're like, that's like just a guy. That's just a guy. That's just a guy. Yeah, Halliburton's really good, but is he really like a perennial all-star type player? And then if you're a Knicks fan, you're looking at like, hey, we got Jalen Brunson and the way they've been playing with each other, and we got Tibbs, who's been around and coached. We got Mikal Bridges, we just gave 5 picks up for. We got Karl-Anthony Towns, who is a perennial all-star player. And then it don't work out. It's a quick reaction to have that, okay, maybe there is a thing about Tibbs not getting this done. Our team looked tired. Maybe we just got to find somebody in here who's going to tell us that we're going to play some team basketball and we're going to start going into the analytics and things will work out. I think that's really what they're looking for. And who knows? We'll probably find out Tibbs may have said, hey, I'm not doing that. And they was like, okay, well, then you're gone. Or they may be saying, hey, there's some free agents out here. They may not want to come and play for Tibbs. We got to do something different.
Yeah,
I mean there's going to be a lot of player movement. I don't know. They're going to have to give up a lot.
All of their cap space, like
they're going to have to give up a lot.
They have to give somebody the base.
They got nothing.
They're going to be able to do like a 1-for-1 because they don't have picks because they gave up all their picks to get Cat and Mikal Bridges.
So Cat's gone.
So like you're going to have to trade like Cat or OG or Mikal or Brunson. But like do it 1-for-1.
But why pay all those guys? Why pay all those guys all that money and then don't play team basketball and give everybody an opportunity? I mean, like that would be like also Tibbs. I gave Mikal Bridges all this money. I gave OG all this money, but you letting Brunson sit there and take 28 shots a game, where these guys are only taking 10, 13.
And that's where I'm thinking maybe. Obviously, Brunson liked Tibbs, right? He was kind of letting him do whatever he wanted.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if this was a little bit of the front office being like, "You don't run the show here. Like we give you the keys last couple of years."
It's also the second time Tibbs has been fired where Karl Anthony Towns was a player on his team.
Yeah, I don't think that's fair. I don't
either. I'm just saying.
I don't think Cat's got that kind of pull right now. Like I can't
don't either.
That. What I really think, what I don't like about it, Joe, is it feels very reactionary and it just does not feel like they have a plan. That's what I would be concerned with. Like if you're gonna make the move, because let's also be real about what the Knicks have been prior to Tibbs, some hot dog shit. Ain't no two ways around it.
Nope, that really have been.
They haven't had 2 back-to-back seasons with 50 wins in probably since the 90s, right? So you better have a good plan to replace him. It better not just have been I'm mad, so I'm going to fire him and then we'll just figure it out later.
I mean, it worked for the Celtics though too. Brad Stevens kept getting close, and they said, "Okay."
Yeah, but that was
they didn't move on though. They moved into the front office.
They already had they've had each of their replacements already on the staff.
Yeah, that's a little different.
If the Knicks are going to do that, they say, "All right, Rick Brunson's going to run the team now." You know, I don't know if you caught that clip of DiVincenzo from the middle of the season. At some point, he was like talking shit to Tibbs, and he was like, just let Dad run the team or something. I thought that was funny. But I mean, unless they're going to do something like that, where they've already got the guy on their bench, and they say we're just going to elevate them, and we're going to just make minor tweaks instead of wholesale changes, then okay. It's just then I don't know if it's going to solve. I don't know if it's going to solve like the.
It doesn't solve the issue,
right? So I just, for their sake, I hope they have a plan for my sake.
But when they also can say, "Hey, Mike Malone just got fired too, and he won a championship 2 years ago."
No, I mean, or maybe they want Michael Malone. Like maybe they want someone. Like that's what I'm saying. They better just have an eye on somebody already.
They better have an option.
I saw some lunatic Knicks fan. It had to be a Knicks fan. Say, you know what they should do? They should call up the Heat and see if they'd be willing to move Spo. I said, kick rocks.
Come on, bro.
What are we doing?
Hey, I heard Dan Hurley already too, and I said that would be the dumbest.
Of all the teams that Pat Riley would have to trade Eric Spoelstra to, this lunatic thinks are going to be the Knicks.
Yeah, not happening.
The team that gave up on Pat Riley, and the only reason Pat Riley is in Miami, not a fucking chance. But anyways, let's focus on the finals that we got now, Joe. We got the finals. We got the Pacers. We got the Thunder. Thunder are heavy, heavy favorites. Heavy favorites. What are the keys to a Pacers upset?
They are heavy favorites. Ooh. Man, the role pieces are going to have to be outstanding. Like, because the Thunder can throw they have so many defensive players to where your second and third option going to get locked up. And I just don't know. Pascal Siakam's going to have to be a beast. He's going to have to put Chet in a blender. He's going to have Chet in foul trouble. Him and Miles Turner, they're going to have to dominate in the paint. That's their chance. They're going to have to out-rebound them, which is easy to do against the Pacers because they're one of the worst rebounding teams in the league. But that defense is crazy. So if you're not going to be able to, you're going to have to hopefully create missed shots and run and pass the ball and play team basketball. But the Thunder can run too. So you're just going to have to hopefully get the rebounds, out-rebound them, and run and gun it. I think that's their only chance, seriously. And it's going to be tough for them because the Thunder have like we said, it's crazy. They got 4 guys that could be all defensive players or got votes for first, second, or third team all defensive team. So it's historical what that defense is looking like. So I don't even know. Halliburton can have a 40-point game. I don't think that would be would not be advantageous for them. I think that'd be disadvantageous for the Pacers if he has a big game like that. So it's going to take a lot of big teamwork and just our rebound and being the bigger physical team to beat them. And it's going to be tough. I don't know if they can do it. It's going to be tough.
We'll get to predictions in a second, but yeah, to me, the series are going to rest on their defense for them. They got to be locked in on defense. They got to basically out Thunder the Thunder.
But I mean,
That's essentially what it comes down to.
what Naismith and
Nembhard and yeah, I mean,
they do that the whole
play some
time.
defense. So that's what it's all gonna have to come down to, though. They're gonna have to force a lot of missed shots. Like you said, they're gonna have to rebound the ball because they're gonna have to play in transition. They don't have. I don't think they got the ammo to go up against a Thunder and a half court set. I don't think they have a recipe to win there. You know, like that's when it's going to take. If they're going to win with Halliburton going crazy, it's going to be because Halliburton just went out of his mind against set defenses and just somehow just kept making them pay. But I mean, we saw
Right.
Anthony Edwards is a much better one-on-one, just dribble, break somebody down type of player than Tyrese Halliburton is. And we saw how hard that was for him. Maybe that ends up kind of being an advantage for the Pacers that they aren't really that team. And so the Thunder don't have somebody to key in on. But I mean, they just have such sound fundamentals for their just team defense. I don't think they can win any half court type of game. Any game that is slowed down and played in the half court, the Thunder are going to win. So Pacers got to force a lot of missed shots, force turnovers, play off their defense, play in transition.
Where's the switch that they can create to get their advantage? Like who you gonna get to switch on to Halliburton? Like Chet, but Chet could probably stick with him a little bit.
I mean, Halliburton's just not even that type of guy. I mean, he's just not a guy that's
That's
gonna,
what I'm saying.
Go at you one-on-one. Like it's really what's the switch you can get for
Siakam, yeah. Which is crazy.
And honestly, we've seen Caruso be good against big players, right? Just knowing where his help is and all of that. Like, I mean, there really isn't much of a really the only way I would go about it, Joe, when they're in the half court, I'm trying to get SGA switched on to Siakam and Siakam get his ass in foul trouble. That's your shot.
Yep.
From a half court perspective.
Clearly. And then Miles Turner, if Miles Turner can make some threes and just be what he does sometimes.
He's going to have to protect
rim protector.
Good rim protector. They're going to need all of that. They're going to need all of that.
They need everything. Yep.
All right.
But and Rick Carlisle, man, he's got to
cook. He's going to have to cook.
He should be up there, bro. You got to mention him as one of the top coaches. He's top 3 right now in the NBA.
Top 2 to me.
Well, I would have put Mike Malone up there, but he's not coaching right now. Spoelstra, you're right. Spoelstra, then Rick Carlisle.
Because those two can still do stuff when they don't have a world-class top, best player in the
Kenny
world.
Atkinson?
Yeah, sorry, I'm gonna need you to get to the Eastern Conference Finals, sir.
That's fair. Yeah.
There's a lot of talent on that.
There's a really Steve Kerr now.
Twice now. This is twice now you've tried my patience. You're lucky I'm in a good mood right now. What are the keys to the Thunder, Joe?
Hey, Shea, Mr. Consistent. You know he's gonna be there. You know what he's gonna do. I think Chet's gonna be a big role. I mean, he's gonna have to not get in trouble. Him and Hartenstein, because they have no size whatsoever, and I think that could definitely affect them. Yeah, but if they can protect their paint a little bit and they can get those rebounds, I think that's what's going to be able to slow down the Pacers' team ball. That swing, find the open guy. You got to limit that against the Pacers, and I think with their defense they can do that. But if they're not getting the rebounds and their big guys are in foul trouble or not getting it done, I think that can make things a little interesting. But still, at the end of the day, they got Shea, Mr. Consistent. I don't think the Pacers have anybody who can stop him. Shea's going to average 30, 10, or he's going to average at least 32 points in this series.
Yeah, Naismith and Nembhard, really good defenders. They were bigger than Brunson, though. They're going to be undersized.
That's what I'm saying.
Here. They're going to be undersized here. For me, for the Thunder, Joe, it's just be solid. Just don't. Just keep doing what you've been doing. Exactly. Don't try and do, oh my God, it's the finals. Now I got to. No. Just be you. Just be you. Keep doing what you've been doing all season long, Chet. I don't need Chet to be thinking he needs to become. No, just be that 15 points, 8 rebounds, a block or 2 a game. That's all.
Facts.
That's all he's got to do. Hartenstein, keep living in that kind of mid post. Hit your little floater every once in a while. Rebound the basketball. Back taps for offensive rebound chances. All those things. And the big one, Joe, is the one thing that I've seen them get a little reckless for, or reckless with, when they were playing the Timberwolves. No turnovers.
They did have a lot of turnovers.
Limit the turnovers. That will give the Pacers a chance. You let the Pacers get out and run. That's how they get their threes going. That's how you get people feeling good, feeling confident.
The Nembhard has a 40-point game out of nowhere.
Solid. Literally, that's it. Just be solid. They have to just stay within themselves. They've done a really good job so far this playoffs, I think. Like, they haven't tried to do too much, last year they
overthinking.
SGA, I think, kind of tried to do too much on his own. This year he's played very much within himself, within his control. He's been very okay if he has a game where he only scores like 20 points because everyone else is going crazy.
Right.
Like, he has accepted that. As long as he keeps doing that, Joe, it's going to be tough for the Pacers. It's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough, yeah. But that also scares me. Everybody saying it's going to be tough. It makes me want to put some money on the Pacers. It's not happening.
And yeah, we'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. It's time for the predictions, Joe. We've got all the way here. What's your prediction? Who wins and how many games?
You know what? I'm going to say OKC in 6. I'm going to give Pacers game 1. They won game 1 every playoff series so far. So I'm going to give the Pacers game 1. Okay. And then after that. And then 1 game at home. Yep. I'm going to take Thunder in 6. I feel like I'm being kind.
You are. I'm going to say Thunder in 5. I think the Thunder have shown like once a series that they'll get a little too relaxed and not meet the moment. So I think they will probably still do that. I think that's just their youth. I don't blame them too much for it. I think the Pacers are good enough to take advantage of it. Would I be shocked if the Pacers swept them or got swept? No. But I think most likely Thunder in 5. But I'm excited to watch it. People are trying to,
it's gonna be good.
Talk down on this series, but those are two teams that play really good basketball. And the Thunder, I like greatness, and the Thunder have been great from the start of the year all the way to the finish. And who has the second best record in the NBA since January 1, Joe?
The Pacers.
Indiana Pacers. So
yeah, they started off terrible.
They had such a bad start to the season. People didn't realize how good they played that last part of last 50 games of the season. So they've got a puncher's chance. I don't think this is going to just be 30-point blowout after 30-point blowout.
Nah.
Like I don't think because we've seen with the Pacers, you can get them down 20 even in the fourth quarter. They're not going to stop fighting. So I just hope they're fun games. That's all I'm hoping for, Joe. I don't care who wins.
It's gonna be boring. The crowd will be fun. Ain't gonna be too many celebrities at the games, but we'll get Reggie Miller versus Kendrick Perkins, which is wild to me. Like, that's the big celebrity they bring out to OKC. They can't bring out Westbrook or KD, Serge Ibaka.
They're still playing.
I know, it's crazy. It's messed up. Gotta bring out Kendrick Perkins. Hey. Or what's the other dude that they retired his jersey? Nick Collins. Collison, whatever, dog. It's ridiculous that his shit is retired anyway.
Shit, it was there forever. Bro, Joe, you know how we end this show? We choose love. We choose violence. What you got?
I'm going to shout out. I'm going to give love to Inside the NBA. It's been great. It was fun ride. ESPN finna fuck it up. So I want to give y'all love before I get messed up and people forget how great it was because y'all had some classics that we'll never forget. There's clips that'll live on forever that even out of context are still great. So you gotta give out love to Kenny, Charles, Ernie, and Shaq. They're great. Everybody who's on it. Every time they have guests on there, it's fun. It was a great show. Make sure if they don't bring the post game with them, then ain't no point of it being on TV either. So
I think they confirmed the post game will live on. I believe I saw that report.
Good. But they're going to a bigger network that's more corporate. They may not let that shit slide. They're still gonna be in the same studio and all that. So Shit should
I
still
don't-
be a little
I don't-
regular.
I don't think ESPN can stop them if they want to. Like I think they all have. I
agree.
think they've all made too much money to where they've got fuck you money, and so if ESPN says, "Well, no, we need you to tone this or that down," they're gonna be like,
They'll
No.
let Pat McAfee do it.
"All right, I don't think it's gonna happen." So I'm gonna double down on that one, Joe. It's been a pillar in the NBA community, so yeah, I'm just to double down on that one. Love for NBA on TNT. You know, their last show was pretty great. All the the words that they shared at the
Fun.
end, saying goodbye, all that shit. But yeah, all the memories going back with that show are just, oh man, they're priceless.
They really are. It's crazy. It's amazing how many clips they've made. Like, yeah, it's been a great show. The fact that a network let them do it for that long and get away with it for that long was amazing. So hopefully it can continue.
Yeah, hopefully it all works out. ESPN, please don't ruin it like you ruin everything, including
They
Around the
really
Horn,
do, bro.
RIP.
They really do.
RIP Around the Horn. Only got one good show left on ESPN, PTI.
Barely. Yep.
Anyways, we are 3 and Impossible, and we
Shout out your future president too, Stephen A. Smith.